So let's talk selection for Wales versus England, always one of the most anticipated games in the Six Nations. Wales, sure, they haven't won a game, but they've definitely been improving under Matt Sherratt, and they would love nothing more than to spoil England's chance of winning a Six Nations, because there is a chance there. Obviously, they're going to need Scotland to beat France, but if that happens and England beat Wales, absolutely they could win. They'd be favourites to win in that case. England, there were some promising signs against Italy. There were some exciting tries, but can they do it up against Wales at home? It's going to be super tough. It's going to be exciting. So let's get into this one. And it's worth reminding you, it's your last chance to play my starting lineup. Enter the code RugAN1 on registration. You get a free play anyway. And we've had 2 more winners from that in the last round. We've got Thomas, who predicted the England team exactly. We've got Harriet there, who predicted the Wales team exactly. So well done them. They are going to the Lions captain's dinner and a stay at the Vale Hotel. There it's being presented by Glenn Webb, the former international, wearing what it seems like a leopard's pelt there, which is a pretty cool coat. Friend of the channel, of course, Glenn Webb. So yeah, do enter that if you want to have a chance of winning. You might as well give it a crack. It's a great prize. Go to my starting lineup, predict exact starting lineups, and enter the code RugAN1. So let's start with Wales, and there is some squad news that Rogers and Adams, they're both out injured. Liam Williams was already out, so that's 3 back 3 that could easily have started out. They're pulled in 1 back 3 to replace them. That's Josh Hathaway. So starting from the back, Blair Murray absolutely stays. He's been a real live wire in attack. He's been enjoying himself. Has done a few odd things as well. He's not the tallest, but he's very brave, and I do like his ambition. In the centres, now here's the tricky thing. We've got Tom Rogers out. What do you do? Now, I think I would switch Max Llewellyn to the wing, where he's played so well for Gloucester. Do you bring in Hathaway straight away? But I've never been fully assured by him when he's played, so I think I'd move Llewellyn to the wing, because I think Joe Roberts is a fantastic centre. He's been getting better and better. Loved it when he's come on, so I think he goes into 13. Ben Thomas staying at 12 as the playmaker. Again, Ben Thomas, maybe not ideal. He's not quite the biggest. I'm not sure he is big enough for internationals, but he really is key to how Wales attack. So Thomas and Roberts and big Max Llewellyn on the wing. I think that's the way to go, although you could make an argument for keeping Llewellyn at 13. Llewellyn's strengths have been hitting hard lines, maybe his weaknesses just numbering up in defence properly. I think Ellis Mee keeps his space on the left wing, gaining that valuable experience. At fly half, I would make the change. Gareth Anscombe, very experienced of course, started both last games, but I think Jared Evans has been a revelation. His attack, I think they need that to beat England. They need to go for broke. Start Evans, have Anscombe on the bench alongside Thomas Williams. I think that's a really exciting half-back pairing. I think I'd keep the starting props the same, but bring in Henry Thomas if he's fit onto the bench. Elliot Dee, I think, swaps with Dowie Lake again. I think they need to go for it, get the most dangerous players on from the start, so no, they're still in this game, and Dee's been solid, but Lake is the guy who could carry through heavy traffic. In the second row, I think they go for it. They make the change. Rowlands onto the bench, and bringing in the more dynamic Teddy Williams is the way to go. I think they've got to go at the English, try and scare them. Dafford Jenkins, very much a glue player, technically fantastic, makes his tackles, brilliant in the line out, and give him some extra firepower alongside in Teddy Williams. And if you need to bring on Rowlands, he's there on the bench. And carrying on with this theme, I think they go for it in the back row as well. Raphael's been playing okay, been getting a few turnovers, but he's not really been making an impact in attack, hasn't really been making those big tackles in defence. So get him the big boy Wainwright into 6, move Morgan to 7. Faletau obviously stays at 8. He's been excellent. And I think that's the way you go with the starting team. Gives them more firepower and really go at the English. Now on to England, and I hope they carry on with the ambition that they showed against Italy. They back their skills, they back their speed, and they can play that way, and I'd prefer them to carry on practicing playing that way rather than going back to a more limited game, because then you get good at neither, to be honest. And I think it suits our players better. It suits Mitchell better, Finn Smith better, Marcus Smith when he comes on better. So I think they need to go on the attack and we get a really exciting game. Now, squad-wise, there was always going to be a change as Ollie Lawrence got that horrible injury to his Achilles. I hope he recovers well. Max Ajomo's been called up. It's a really good move, I think. He's the next man to come in. He's creative, he's powerful. Tempted to almost start him, but I really like him as a player. I think he's got a big future for England. Interesting that Pollock stays, Langdon stays as a fourth hooker. Let's get into this team, starting from the back. Now, I'd stick with Elliot Daly at 15. I know he went to 13 early in the game and played really well, but I think we need an attacking fullback, and he's probably the best option we've got. I like to have Marcus Smith on the bench to add an impact, probably at fly half. So I don't think I'd start Smith. I'd start Daly again at 15 where he was meant to, because I like the balance it started out with for the first 10 minutes anyway, or however long it was. Now, Tommy Freeman obviously has to stay in the 15. He's absolutely on fire. His power's gone up a level since last year. He's tearing up trees. Where does he play? Well, he's been playing so well on the wing. I think I'd start him there, but definitely look to change up into 13 at some point in the game. On the other wing, Ollie Slightholme, he's been going okay, but again, I think he's a little limited sometimes in defence, some of his decisions. Sometimes he just doesn't seem to go for it for some reason when he has the ball, although he's still got plenty to offer for England. It's not like chucking him out forever, but he's had plenty of games, and I think it's time to bring in the danger man, Tom Roebuck, give Wales something really to think about in the air especially. Maybe get him and Freeman going at Blair Murray, challenging in the air. That would be exciting, and just a bit of change up, bit of a freshen up, because England, remember, do have a 6-day turnaround, so I think some changes would really help actually. So Slightholme is out for now and Roebuck in. Now the centres, this is the tricky one. Lawrence is obviously out. What do you do? Now I must say I'm tempted to say go with a Jomo and Oscar Beard and have that all-attacking, exciting midfield, but it's a complete change. It would be a big gamble. So I think Dingwall has to stay. Look, he's a good all-round player. I really like everything he does. He's just a little limited physically. That's not really an opinion. It's just a statement. He's not that big. He's not that powerful. He's not that quick. But everything he does is good. So if he's the glue player, you need someone dangerous outside him. The safe option, I guess, would be to bring back Henry Slade. And I would predict that's what's going to happen. But I would definitely bring in Oscar Beard. I think he's ready. He's lightning quick. He's got great feet. I think his cover defence is brilliant. It's a bit of a bold move, but I think it's the way to go. Keep that attacking bent going. So you have Dingwall and Beard, and the extra power is around them with Freeman and Roebuck. So even though it's a smaller midfield, there are big guys to bring in as well. Halfbacks is pretty easy. I think they stay. They're going nicely. The Northampton pair, and with Dingwall at 12, makes a lot of sense. And of course Freeman there, so you've got that Northampton spine. And the pack, now interesting, I would keep it pretty much the same. I think Genge, yes, it hasn't been happening for him, but he's trying hard. He's in decent form, so hopefully he has a good game. George, I thought, had a really good game against Italy. He's not the quickest, but technically the best. I would add some firepower on the bench. I'll come to that. Atodi and Chesham obviously stay. It would be nice to have Martin on the bench coming on, but he's not fit. He's not in the squad. Tom Curry, now, if he's fit, he plays. Now, it was a real revelation that he's been so good in this Six Nations, because I wondered how his hip was going to go, and someone was saying in the comments maybe he's actually had hip resurfacing. Let me know if you know that's the case. A bit like Andy Murray might explain why he can carry on for a couple more years actually. Anyway, if Tom Curry's a bit banged up, then definitely start Ted Hill. But if not, Tom Curry starts. He's been amazing. Bernal, Tom Willis, really liking the balance of that back row. Now on the bench I would make some changes, partially because of the 6-day turnaround, but also I think we need to see some of these players, some exciting players. Theo Dan for me comes in. More impact off the bench. I'm surprised he hasn't had more starts. I think now's the time. Cowan Dickey's had plenty of games. So get Dan in, get some explosion there, and also Apoko Fajor. Or what's the point of him being in the squad? He is explosive. He is exciting. Hayes has had a solid outing, but let's bring in a bit of a change up, a bit of a freshness, some hunger there off the bench. So with Dan, Finn Baxter and Apoko Fajor coming on. And also I think I'd revert to a 5-3 split. Ted Hill covering 6 and second row. The second rows may well go the game again anyway, so hopefully he comes on at 6 at some point. Ben Curry covering 7. He's in great form, played great against Italy again. Cunningham South misses out. Now in the previous video I was saying about his rugby intelligence, and I was just talking about him numbering up in defence, not about him as a person. And a couple of times now we've seen him caught out when really when you're in defence the first thing you do is scan and organise your numbers. He just doesn't seem to do that. He's big, he's strong, he's powerful, he's got a future for England, but I think it's fair enough on this 5-3 split that he misses out. Van Portfleet looked a bit liberated when he came on against Italy, so fair enough for him to stay, although Randall, if it's a quick game, could be quite good. And then Marcus Smith on the bench. Let's talk Marcus Smith. I like the guy. I think he's exciting. He's exciting to watch. Where he comes on is a good question. He can cover 15 if you need to, but really I'd love him to come on at 10, maybe for the last 20, and really speed that game up with his running game, create some absolute chaos. I can see that working. He's a good player. He's got plenty to offer. He's not perfect, but you definitely don't throw him out. And then let's bring Max Ajomu onto the bench. He can cover 12 and 13. It'll be really exciting to get him on at some point, and it gives a lot more cover to the game in case you have injuries like happened against Italy. So that's the way I'd go for Wales. And for England, I've got the daffodils behind me. I'm excited for this game. Let me know who you'd select and why. If you want to try and win those Lions Captain's Dinner tickets, there's 2 more pairs up for grabs. If you predict England correctly and Wales correctly, enter the code RugAn1 if you want to play that. It's going to be good fun. But yeah, all those comments down below. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I would absolutely love that. And I'll catch you next time.